As we move through the first quarter of 2026, the parenting conversation is finally starting to shift. It's shifting away from simply managing behaviour and towards something deeper. Because what we're seeing now is that even gentle parenting isn't resolving neurodivergent burnout. And I know that that can feel confronting because gentle parenting has helped so many families. But here's what I see each week. Parents doing everything right, validating feelings, using soft voices, reducing demands, and still their child is overwhelmed, melting down, or even completely shutting down. So we have to ask, why? Because these children aren't just struggling with behaviour, they are often living with a chronic internal message of unsafe. And if that's the baseline, no surface level strategy is going to resolve it. Let me show you where this gap is. Most parenting approaches focus from here. These are the leaves, they represent the behaviours. The trunk, the sensory and environment. So the advice becomes silence, snacks, low demand transitions. And again, these aren't wrong, but they're surface level because regulation is actually created here at the roots. And for many neurodivergent children, these roots are already holding hypervigilance and subconscious unsafe imprints. So even when they are coping at school, they are often just getting by, holding it together in an environment their system experiences as unsafe, which is why the release comes later. But here's the part most people don't get. That unsafe signal doesn't only live in the child. If in your roots there is even a subtle imprint of this is too much, I can't handle this, or even pressure to keep things calm, your child's nervous system picks that up instantly. So now we don't just have one unsafe signal in the system, we have resonance between the two. And no amount of gentle words can override that because what they are actually looking at is energetic stability. Now, this is where gentle parenting can unintentionally go off track because strategies like constant validation, distraction, or removing all the challenges can sometimes become a form of avoidance, not intentionally, but functionally. Because instead of resolving the unsafe signal, we're trying to keep it from being activated. We're trying to keep the peace. But here's what that can communicate to a nervous system. This is too much. We need to move away from this, which actually deepens the internal imprint of unsafe. But there's another layer here, because sometimes what looks like escalation is not avoidance, it's a search for safety. The child's system is trying to resolve that instability by creating structure, certainty, and containment. And they might push and resist and, in fact, break boundaries, not because they want less connection, but because they are trying to draw it from you. They want you to secure, I have got you, and I can hold you. And if we stay only in gentleness, without grounded certainty, without becoming that resonance anchor, they don't get held. They feel the absence of stability, and that's what keeps them stuck in the static. So this is the shift. We stop asking, how do I manage this better? We start asking, where is the unsafe signal in the system? Because everything we just talked about, the avoidance, the over-validating, the trying to keep the peace, That's what happens when we respond to the surface instead of resolving the source. So now we go to the roots, because that unsafe signal can exist in two places: in the parent's roots, transmitted unconsciously, in the child's roots, held through their own lived experience of overwhelming instability. And this is the part that changes everything. We are not trying to figure out whose it is. We are not analysing. We are not assigning responsibility. We are doing something much simpler and much more powerful. We are clearing the signal. This is what the reveal and release method is designed to do. It allows you to reveal the invisible static, bring the unconscious into awareness, and release it from the roots so the nervous system can come out of that heightened reactive state. Because as long as that signal is active anywhere, the system will stay in protection. But when it clears, the need for avoidance disappears, the need for escalation softens, because the nervous system is no longer trying to find safety. It can finally feel it. And this is where the resonance anchor comes in. Because once the static is cleared, you need the capacity to hold stability, not just in the moment, but fairly well constantly. So what you're creating isn't performative calm or endless gentleness, but something the nervous system actually trusts: stable, grounded safety, certainty at the root. And that's what allows the whole system, yours and your child's, to recalibrate. This is where it became really crystal clear for me. My daughter in full meltdown. I was doing everything I'd been taught, the gentle voice holding her, validating, the whole shebang. And still, she was calling out for me while in my arms. And that's when I understood she wasn't asking for better words. She was asking, is there safety here? And at that moment, there still wasn't unsafe active in our system. So I shifted inward. I used the reveal and release method, and as that cleared, her system settled because the signal had changed. So if gentle parenting isn't working the way that you would expect, it's not because you've failed, it's because you've been working at the wrong level. Once you start working with the roots, with the actual unsafe signal in the system, everything changes. If you want to learn how to do this, it's inside my Energy Wise Parenting Hub. You'll get immediate access to the foundation course and the guided resonance anchor practice. So you can move beyond managing behaviour and start creating real safety. The link is in the description. Hopefully the QR code also appears for you. And as always, be gently courageous with yourself, because this work changes everything from the inside out.